The night I found my wife in bed with my oldest rival started like any other. A call, a kiss goodbye, and a quiet assumption that love still lived here. I was wrong. Julie and I had been inseparable since junior high. Best friends turned sweethearts turned husband and wife. I'm Cal Wilson, 32, detective in a quiet town that rarely sees anything worse than bar fights and marital spats. I stay fit, morning runs, leftover discipline from my track days, green eyes, graying too early, married to a woman who could stop a room cold with a smile. Julie, blonde hair, ice blue eyes, smart, sharp, and for a long time mine. We built something simple and good. I made a point to never stop showing her what she meant to me. Maybe I should have watched what she showed others. And then there's Jimmy Green, the golden boy. Once the town's star quarterback, now a cushy City Hall employee thanks to his daddy, the mayor. Back in high school, Jimmy used to flirt with Julie right in front of me. I warned him more than once, he laughed every time. Then he married Cynthia, Julie's friend, and life went on until it didn't. About a year ago, a Friday night was ours, for once. Until duty called. A domestic dispute nearby. Sheriff Barton needed someone. I was closest. I kissed Julie, apologized, and left. Hours later, I came home to Jimmy sitting on our couch like he belonged there. Julie looked freshly showered, too, put together for a night alone. My gut twisted. Jimmy gave his usual cocky grin, claimed he just dropped by after learning I got called out. Cynthia was out of town. Julie smiled like it was nothing. I wanted to believe her, I really did. But 2 months later, Cynthia, shaken, crying, called me. "You need to come now," she said. I showed up to her house. Julie's car was in the driveway. I didn't need her to say a word. I already knew. Still, I asked, "Why is my wife's car here?" She looked like she'd seen a ghost. "You don't know." I didn't answer. I walked inside, straight to the bedroom, and found Julie and Jimmy, frozen mid-scramble under my sheets. Didn't draw my sidearm, just my phone. Click, 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 click. Julie screamed my name. Jimmy swore. I stayed silent. Then I turned to Cynthia. "You know about this?" Tears rolled down her face. "I thought you did too. Julie said you were okay with it." I laughed once, sharp and cold. "Come stay at my place," I said. Julie and Jimmy both snapped. "You're not taking her anywhere." Cynthia didn't flinch. "Yeah, I'm going." Jimmy moved like he wanted to fight. I didn't even need to unholster. "How long?" I asked. "Since that night you left for the Roberts call," Jimmy muttered. Figures. Julie reached for me, trembling. "I still love you." "You don't do this to someone you love," I said flatly. I looked at Cynthia then. Maybe for the first time, dark hair, green eyes, quiet dignity, and something else, truth. "You always hated double standards, Julie," I said. "If you can sleep with Jimmy, why can't I take Cynthia home?" Julie paled. Jimmy swore. "Cynthia, she just..." Nodded. "Yeah, I'm ready." We left. My phone buzzed non-stop before we even got to my driveway. I ignored it, except one call, Sheriff Barton. "You all right?" he asked. "No," I said. "Your nephew's been sleeping with my wife. Cynthia and I are on our way to my place. I'm taking tomorrow off." Then I sent him the photos. There was a long, heavy sigh on the line. Damn, I was afraid this might happen. I froze. "Wait, you knew?" I snapped. A pause. "Cal, listen. Save it." I cut him off and ended the call. I turned to Cynthia. "Did you know he knew?" Her eyes flared. "Hell no." Now she wasn't just shaken, she was furious. Oddly enough, that fire in her voice stirred something in me. For the first time, I wasn't just seeing her as Jimmy's wife. "You're damn right we're getting serious about this," I said with a smirk. She caught my look, and something shifted, just for a second. But first, I had things to handle. Back at my house, Julie's name lit up my screen again. This time I picked up. "What? Don't you dare, Calvin Wilson. Touch her and I'll file for divorce." I clenched my jaw. "I've got the photos, Julie. You know what that means. Infidelity. Full forfeiture. This state isn't kind to cheaters." Silence. Then, "Okay." Click. I texted, "Don't come home tonight." Then I called Dennis, my cousin and the best locksmith in town. When he showed, Cynthia and I were sharing a beer on the porch. 3 sets, I said. Me, Cynthia, and one spare. And if Julie asks, for a key, don't. Dennis smirked. Family first, brother. Next, I called the furniture store, ordered a brand new bed, king size. When the delivery truck pulled in, Cynthia watched silently as the old one got hauled out to the curb. Symbolic, sure, but necessary. By late afternoon, Dennis handed over the keys. I gave Cynthia one with a wink. She returned a shy smile. Something was shifting, quietly, undeniably. Then I called my sister, Liv. She ran the local bank and hated. Julie, I need a new account. Monday morning, move 75% of the joint funds. About time, Liv muttered. Done. That night, Cynthia and I didn't rush anything. We sat in the living room, world locked out. This, I told her, it's revenge. You realize that, right? I know, she said, calm but steady. Then I need to ask, why didn't you leave him? Tears welled but didn't fall, because he controlled everything, the bank accounts, the lawyers. He said, I'd walk away with nothing. I reached for her hand. Forget the money, forget him, do you want out? Yes, she said without hesitation. Then she rolled up her sleeve. A bruise. I exhaled slowly. Cynthia, you're getting out of this, I swear it. This wasn't just betrayal anymore, this was survival. The next morning I called Phil, my brother-in-law, and a damn good lawyer. He hated Jimmy. Happily took on both divorce cases. We handed over the photos, the texts, the evidence. Phil got to work immediately. By Tuesday, Cynthia and I were in Sheriff Barton's office. Morning, Bart, I said calmly, sliding my phone across the desk. Give it a second. Cynthia showed him her bruise. Jimmy does this, but not anymore. I'm pressing charges. Barton squirmed. Maybe you bumped into... Enough, I cut in. You'll arrest Jimmy today, file charges with the DA, or these photos go public. He caved, not because he wanted to, because he had to. And then he talked, Jimmy, Fred, the mayor, even the judge. They were all in on it, keeping me busy while Jimmy and Julie snuck around. I thought you knew, Cal, he said quietly. You thought wrong, I said coldly. I wasn't stopping there. Emails were already scheduled. To the mayor's wife, to Judge Green's, every JPEG ready to detonate. When Cynthia and I pulled up to the house, Julie was already waiting. Of course. Cal, we can still fix this, she said, soft and rehearsed. Does fixing it include not cheating? I asked. She hesitated. I hung up. That night, Cynthia made pork chops. We talked strategy at the table, dividing assets, freezing accounts, prepping court dates. The more we planned, the more I realized I didn't hate Julie. Not exactly. But I resented her. She didn't just betray me. She pushed me, right into Cynthia's arms. And Cynthia. She fit beside me like she always belonged there. The next day, Barton did his job, arrested Jimmy, filed the charges, kept it quiet, but this was far from over, because now it wasn't about revenge anymore. It was about resetting the whole. Damn bored, and this time I was playing for keeps. Julie tossed another insult Cynthia's way, same old smirk, same tired venom. I didn't flinch. For the first time I looked at them side by side and saw the difference. Cynthia didn't just look better, she was better. In every way that counted, I called Julie out. Calmly. If she hadn't cheated with Jimmy, I wouldn't be holding Cynthia's hand. That shut her up. But I didn't stop. I reminded her. Instead of owning her betrayal, she went after me, my job, my character. She never wanted to fix us. She just wanted to justify herself. She broke. Real tears. This time. Not the manipulative kind. She crumbled, apologized, said she ruined everything. No, she destroyed it. Then I dropped the hammer. Jimmy hadn't just betrayed me. He'd been beating Cynthia. I motioned to her. She showed the bruise. Julie went pale. I didn't know, she whispered. Cynthia brushed it off. Don't worry about it, I'm divorcing him, taking everything. I backed her up. Same here. Then I laid it out for Julie. I was going after 75% of our assets. She could keep her car. There was enough left in the joint account for her to find a place. But if she dragged this out, I'd make sure those photos hit every inbox, from her church friends to her aunt in Vermont. She whispered, She still loved me. I didn't blink. Love without respect is worthless. As far as I'm concerned, the marriage ended the night I caught you with him. I told her my lawyer had the paperwork. All she had to do was sign. She said yes, quiet, hollow. I offered her the guest room for the night, one final mercy. Cynthia wasn't thrilled, but she trusted my judgment. The next morning, Julie showed up at Phil's office with her lawyer. She saw the photos, the proof, the betrayal in high definition. Her attorney just said, "Take it, walk away." She did. 30 days later, the divorce was finalized. But that wasn't the real war. That came next, with Jimmy, his father, Mayor Green, and every enabler tangled in their web. Luckily, I had an unexpected ally, Janet Green, Jimmy's mother. My letter to her had landed hard, and she responded. Janet confirmed what I suspected. The mayor knew everything. So did Barton. Her husband had manipulated my schedule, handed Jimmy time to prey on Julie. Janet was furious, ready to burn it all down. Phil built the case. Jimmy was hit with house arrest after Janet exposed his sealed record. Cynthia's divorce took the rest of his money. When Janet showed up at our place, calm as a sniper, she asked Phil to represent her too. I agreed. She wasn't just done with her husband, she was done protecting monsters. Julie left town shortly after. Good move. The storm was just beginning. Phil's PI dug deep. Mayor Green wasn't passive. He orchestrated the whole thing. Every assignment, every gap Jimmy slid into. Bribery, manipulation, systemic abuse, all of it. We listened to the recording together, the mayor casually plotting Cynthia's exile, threatening to fire me if I got in the way, telling Jimmy to handle her. Bart listened in silence. When it ended, he looked at me and said, "Care to do the honors, son?" I looked at Cynthia, softened. "You stay with Phil." Then I grinned, checked my sidearm and turned to Bart. "Let's go put down some rabid dogs." Cynthia clutched me hard, kissed me like it might be the last time. "Be careful, I love you." "I love you too," I whispered. No time wasted. Bart and I jumped into his cruiser. Sirens blaring, we tore down the road toward the Green estate. On the way, Bart secured an arrest warrant from Judge Reinhold, thanks to Jimmy's recorded confession. When we arrived, we killed the lights and coasted in quietly. Inside, the mayor and Jimmy were finishing dinner, completely unaware. Bart kicked the door open like an old-school lawman. The mayor jumped to his feet. "What the hell is this?" Jimmy froze, color draining from his face the second he saw Bart's. 44 and my .357 leveled at them. I kept Jimmy pinned while Bart moved in. "Frederick Green, you and your son are under arrest for conspiracy to commit murder," Bart announced, reading their rights by the book. He slapped the cuffs on tight. Once they were secured in the back of Bart's cruiser, we headed for the station. Jimmy, for once, stayed silent. Fred was processed without incident, but Jimmy, he was saved for me. In the interrogation room, Cynthia sat quietly at my side. I laid out the documents, hit play on the recording. Jimmy's voice filled the room, arrogant and damning. As it played, his face turned ghost white. "This isn't admissible," he stammered. "Doesn't matter," I shrugged. "We don't need court. Just need Homeland Security to think you're planning an execution. Pretty sure they'll be interested." I was bluffing. He wasn't sharp enough to catch it. He slumped, defeated. "What do you want me to do?" I didn't hold back. Once his lawyer showed, he'd sign over everything, assets, property, all of it, to Cynthia. After that, it'd go to the judge. Prison time. And if he ever got out, he'd start with nothing. He nodded, broken. Watching him collapse under the weight of it all was the most satisfying moment I'd felt in years. I leaned in. "You know, Jimmy, if you hadn't decided to sleep with my wife, none of this would have happened." That cracked him. He cried, really cried. I'd never seen Jimmy Green shed a tear. Not in high school. Not when he blew out his knee. Not even when he got arrested. But now, he sobbed like a child. Cynthia, ice cold, cut through the silence. "Shut up, Jimmy. You and your father plotted to kill me. You're not sorry. You're just sorry you got caught." Her words hit harder than any punch. Jimmy's eyes dropped, staring at the wall like the truth finally crushed him. Didn't take long for his lawyer to show. I played the tape again. The man closed his eyes and sighed, defeated. When I explained that we'd be sending the confession to every major outlet, local news, national media, he didn't argue. Minutes later, Jimmy signed the divorce papers. No fight. Fred was the same. When his lawyer saw the evidence, Fred caved. No tantrums, no theatrics, and since we'd never promised them anything, we followed through. Sent the recordings to every outlet we could, local, national, even the state attorney general. It was like a bomb dropped on our quiet town. Reporters flooded the streets. Cafes and motels filled with journalists, investigators, feds. The town's economy boomed. Everyone made money. Except Jimmy and Fred. The feds dug deep. Fred's shady tax returns, crooked contracts, suspicious City Hall dealings tied to Jimmy. Bart walked away clean. They tried pinning it on him, but nothing stuck. He may have looked away once, but he never crossed the line. Julie wasn't as lucky. She got dragged into court as a witness. The media tore into her, but I made sure the real story came out. I painted her honestly, a woman manipulated by the Greens just like the rest of us. In one interview, someone asked if I would have taken her back. No, I answered without hesitation. I meant it. Cynthia walked out with everything. House, assets, freedom. Janet Green did the same with Fred. Both women finally got justice. When sentencing came, Jimmy and Fred got hammered. Conspiracy, corruption, plus whatever else the feds found. Odds are they're never walking free again. Not long after, Cynthia and I got married. Her family returned for the wedding. Julie even showed up with her new boyfriend, a genuinely decent guy. We talked briefly. I wished them well. It felt strange, but good. Word spread that Jimmy found companionship in prison, the large, affectionate kind. Rumor had it his personality and his bathroom habits changed drastically by month 6. Judge Roy Green, Jimmy's uncle, didn't escape either. The feds found layers of corruption, bribery, tampered rulings. His wife Alice turned him in during their divorce. Whether it was revenge or conscience, she got the job done. Roy now lives in federal housing. Fred, last I heard, he was cast as a soprano in the prison musicals. Fitting Julie eventually remarried the same man she brought to our wedding. They're expecting. I'm genuinely happy for her. Bart retired after the dust settled. He and his wife live quietly now. Their kids are grown, but he still visits the station. Some habits never die. As for me, I was elected sheriff after Janet became mayor. Turns out the woman once silent behind her husband had more spine than anyone guessed. The town trusted her. And when Bart stepped down, she handed me the badge. Now, years later, the chaos is gone. My son's in my arms. Cynthia, pregnant again, feeds our daughter at the kitchen table. The guest room's now a nursery. Our girl's got her own room. 4 bedrooms, 1 full house. Cynthia's made it clear this will be the last baby. She jokes the factory's closed, but the playground stays open. I couldn't be happier. I love my wife. I love this life. And if I've learned anything, it's that sometimes, after the storm, you really do find the calm. Some mornings I wake up thinking I'm back in that old life. Badge on the nightstand, Julie beside me, a room thick with silent resentment. Then I roll over, and there's Cynthia. Hair a mess, breathing soft, drooling slightly. And I remember, I escaped that life. Thank God. The town changed too. Scars remain, but the wounds closed. Whispers still float around Till's diner, the hardware store stoop. Some say I got lucky. Others think I planned it all. Truth is, I didn't plan a damn thing. I just got tired of watching people